Hi, good morning. So welcome to RMPS. Sorry, this is a bit late up this morning. I had a couple of issues with videos, etc. So there's quite a lot of you doing the course this year, and there should be a good mix between S5 and S6. So what I want to do today is just go over the course, make sure you know kind of what you're getting into, and give you a kind of a nice, easy task to sort of like start us off on. If that makes sense. Let me just fix the camera a wee bit. Thanks. Right. So I was making something on evolution, and this is going to seem quite similar to the higher philosophy video if anyone's doing both subjects, but obviously it's a wee bit different. But some of it's applicable to both sides of it. So I was looking at evolution because it's part of the course when we get into it a wee bit later on, and I couldn't get my head around the order of how things changed and moved on. I'm not a scientist, I'm a philosopher. So it took me a bit of time to try and figure out what this is. So one of the things that I came to read about was the origin of belief. Like, when did we start believing in things? When did we start claiming things? Well, we have around about the time of, I'll try and find it on this thing here, about the Homo ergaster, and early tools and early sort of strategy sort of thing. So here we have people, early humans, trying to figure out how to use tools to make their lives easier. If we fast forward a little bit to the Homo heidelbergensis, that this is one of the earliest recorded instances of a belief of sorts. That there might have been other ones before that, we're not saying that, but we have a wee bit of a ritual here. There was a cave found, and in the cave the bear skulls were set up in a circle. And one of the time the archaeologists put forward that the early humans worshipped animals, and he put forward the idea that they worshipped animals because of the powers they had. So they had strength and speed, etc. How did they have these powers? Well, because of any supernatural bits. So they started getting the idea of super, beyond them, natural abilities, roughly about 500,000 years ago. And if we think about our religious beliefs we have within society, well, Christian religious beliefs are about 4,000 years old. Hindu religious beliefs we're getting up to about 7,000 years old. So we have belief systems, but some of them are old, some of them are new. Sikhism is about 500 years old. Egyptology, I know no one practices it, but Egypt religion is about 6,000 years old. So that belief in humans believe in what humans believe in, has developed and evolved over time. And I should have said evolved there. Sorry, some people might get offended by that. Some people would put forward that religious belief is fact and true, and it doesn't matter where we are in the scale, that it's always true and nothing will change that. But that's what we're here to do. We're here to debate that, and here to debate how things came about and the origins of things and our opinions, and what we've done with you in core for 4 years, sorry, for core, 6 years, sorry. Is try to develop your reasons for these opinions. It's not enough just to say that you believe X, Y, or Z. That you have to say why you believe these things, and it's the reasons why you believe in the sky is blue, the grass is green. It's these that are interesting for us. It's this that we want to try and unpack with you. Two of our ancestors stand in the field, shouting at what they feel, what they want, how they'll do it. This is where a civilization would have ended if questions weren't asked. Questions allowed our species to clarify meaning, exemplify points, justify opinions, and encourage debate. This has driven human innovation as well as our understanding of the world we live in. Look at the news just now with Microsoft Teams and Google Classrooms and people using YouTube and online lessons, that humans innovate. Humans, when faced with near annihilation, we change and we adapt to make things better round about us. And part of that is questioning, like, can we do it better? Like, why are we doing this in the first place? That what's the point of us learning anything if the schools aren't even off? That we need you to go back to something. So the questions drive us as a society, as a culture, and that's what we need you to do during the course, questioning everything you see in front of you. How often have we, teachers, stood in front of you and made a claim, and you accept it? I said in the philosophy video this morning that I'm 90% wrong 100% of the time, and I think that's pretty true. That I don't claim to know absolute truth. I claim to have knowledge, and I have been to uni, and I've done this, this, and this, but in terms of me being the absolute source of all knowledge, absolutely not. That, and I would worry about anyone who puts that label on themselves. Doubt should be your starting position with it. And the pictures you see on the screen, we have humans gathering, telling stories to one another, transforming into art, early cave art. And then in the top right, the first time human beings, sorry, not true, this is all we've got left, the earliest surviving record of humans writing is this, and this is a cuneiform tablet. Cuneiform's a language that's full form with 3 lines, with a little triangle, etc. That, and it's a letter of complaint. And I love that the first thing that human beings learned to do was to moan about things. And it gave us Greta, an incredibly informed and well-spoken young lady who is able to motivate and encourage your generation to take notice and trying to get people much older than you to start enacting changes. And it's interesting, over the past month, I think Mr. Richards made a comment about this on the S3 group, that the shutdown has shown us that, oh no, sorry, it was Mr. Bradley, that the shutdown has shown us that, yes, that if we really wanted to follow Greta's lead and stop using cards, etc., yes, we can do it. Look at their quality in China, look at their quality in Italy. Our quality of life wouldn't be as good as it is before that, but we can do it, is the point I think that they're trying to make. We also had Boris Johnson and I've not forgotten him because he's gone. It's just went blank there. Jeremy Corbyn, sorry. That I know he's replaced by Keir Starmer now. Anyway, with it, so we have them going back and forward. I mean, how do we know who's right? How do we know which one we should believe in? That, I think cats, they're just great, and you should love them for everything that they are. That, and it's an argument why, like, reincarnation might be true. All those nasty people, that all the people who are sarcastic and pretty much me, could be reincarnated as cats, gang. Anyway, let me go over the course, and I think you'll enjoy it, and I think you'll get a lot out of it as well. So we look at 3 units. The first unit we look at is world religion, and we look at the nature of belief and what it means to believe in something. So we look at Buddhism because it's the one that you, the pupils, have always chosen year on year. That we can't give you the choice this year because we're doing things a bit differently, but it's the one everyone's always chosen when we're going to offer the choice to it, kind of thing. It's a difficult religion, by the way, to get your head around. So we look at what it means to be a Buddhist, what Buddhists believe in, and then how they put their beliefs into action. So how do they live every single day as a Buddhist? 2 questions and examine this, one 10-mark essay, one 20-mark essay. Straightforward. We'll explain everything to you, essay template, etc., etc. Next one is morality and justice. So this is the moral unit, and we look at how we decide what is right and what is wrong. We've chosen crime, and we've done crime for years. We've moved on to gender 1 year, and we're happy to talk about changing this. But I think we're pretty comfortable with this as a unit for you to do that. If you've done moddies in S3 and S4, then this should be pretty straightforward to you, because you do a lot of this crossover as well, and they do a fantastic job of getting all the facts and figures kind of into your head, and for you to pick apart the patterns and the government strategies on these issues. However, we take things a wee bit differently for RMPS sort of thing. So for causes of crime, we look at environmental and psychological factors. So what's inside your mind and what's outside your mind? Do these influence you, and do these cause you to commit crime? If that's true, if your poverty and the postcode that you grew up on, if that's why you've committed crimes, then you're not responsible for the crime. Whoever set up that situation is responsible for the crime, right? Or let me say, no, it's genetic, that people are born evil. Then it's your genes. In the same way, we don't, if you do believe that sexuality is genetic, and we don't say you can choose this or choose that, then you can't choose not to be a criminal or not. So that means that if we go down one of these 2 routes, people are in prison for the wrong reasons. We don't think that, obviously, and that's not the policy that we have. So we look at this. How does it influence? How does it cause crime? Can it cause crime? We go look at alcohol. I've been drunk. I have speeding points on my license once, that and that's it. That I was, before this is a thing, that I was going 40 and a 30. That I thought it was a 40 in Roof and Glen Road, and it wasn't. It was a 40. I'll show you the speeding ticket as part of the course anyway, so it's fine. So it's that As the person responsible for it, should we take their background into consideration? Should a poor person be given a lighter sentence than a rich person? Should a rich person be given a bigger fine than a poor person? Lots of debate in here with it. Purpose of punishment. Why do we punish people? How many of you had detention more than once, twice, 3 times for the same thing in school? So we're punishing you for a reason. Why are we punishing you? What are we hoping to get out of it? And then on to custodial sentences. Sorry, responses to crime. Plus one being custodial sentences, so prison. But we also have other things like mental health institutions. We also have young child offenders institutes, non-custodial sentences. So we've got fines, community service, drug rehab therapy, things like that. Home lockdown, and then obviously the big one, capital punishment, the ultimate sanction almost. That since leaving the EU, as you'll learn on course, adopting the 13th Convention, the European 13th Protocol of the European Convention of Human Rights, I think. I need to Google that, sorry, I'll check it in my notes. That is why we don't have capital punishment in the UK. So, since we've left Europe, and I am sad for that, since we've left Europe, in theory, we could bring back the death penalty. In fact, the Home Secretary said very similar things when she was on Question Time, which again, don't worry, we'll look at the clips and everything when we're on course with it. So should we bring it back? Should we execute criminals? Should we, as a state, as a culture, as a government, should we be allowed to end human life? Big question that we will get to. Last unit, bit of a change this year. We've always done origins, so the origins course looks at Big Bang and evolution, and then we compare these to Genesis. The Genesis account being that God made everything round about us. The issues we found with this over the year is the Big Bang content, so redshift, light element abundance, the cosmic background radiation, and evolution, that the scientific knowledge you need to access these can be quite difficult for pupils. So we thought, well, how about we try something different this year? So this year we're going to be looking at, does God exist? As a philosophical question, and we're going to look at arguments for and against God's existence. Now, the origins unit is still in here, so when we look at whether or not God exists because things are too perfect for all to be just by chance, then we'll bring in things like evil and suffering, and we'll bring in things like pain in society. When we look at the cosmology and we look at how things exist because God started this process off, we'll bring in Big Bang and we'll bring in the contradictory evidence of it. So we'll still look at Big Bang and evolution, but through the lens of this question: Does God exist? Is there a deity? Which God? And there's lots to unpack here. And this, for me anyway, this is the philosophy where it's pure philosophy, true philosophy, that where we pick apart who is he? Like, what is a God? What makes a God? What do Muslims and Jews and Christians and Hindus and Buddhists and other people, what do they claim God is? Is there references in the Bible, etc., to back that up? What kind of arguments have religious people put forward for why they believe in things? When they see natural disasters in the world, etc., how can they still remain religious in that? When I was at uni, I remember the lecturer, when we were doing Judaism, spoke beautifully about how Jews during the Holocaust in concentration camps still observed Passover, still observed the religious holidays, and they were in the worst conditions that any of us ever could possibly imagine ever happening. In fact, never again being the tagline, is so that we never as a culture experience or let something like that happen round about us. That how could they still be religious is the question. Something has to drive them. They must either know something or believe something that keeps their faith intact during all this calamity. That the Earth is 4 billion years old, the universe 14 billion years old. That the Bible, some people, if you take the Bible literally, I'm careful with my words here. If you take the Bible literally, the planet is 6,000 years old, as believed by young Earth creationists. That how do these two facts sit side by side? Is one wrong and one right? Can they go together in some way? These are the kind of things that we're going to pick apart and kind of get to. So that's a quick introduction, 40 minutes. I know it's not quick, but so this is what I'd like you to do today. I've posted the link to the original Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I want you to read it, and I want you to decide which side are you on. Are you on the bear side? Do you agree that Goldilocks trespassed, and did Goldilocks deserve to at the end of it? Or are you with Team Goldilocks? Do you think that Goldilocks is right, that she did have a right to access the bear's kind of house, and give me reasons for it. So read the story, present an argument, and we'll go from there. Have a great day, stay safe, and take care. Bye bye.